Hey, what's going on everyone? How are you guys doing today? It's Long here and welcome back to another Stink 2 video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about getting a 100k score in this week's Nightfall. The Nightfall that we have this week is actually an amazing one, especially if you're planning on farming prisms or exotic engrams. We have the Strange Terrain, which is actually a quite short Nightfall. That's what makes it so good at actually farming something this Nightfall. You can pretty much run this strike in 10 to 15 minutes, just depending on how fast you're running through everything. Okay, so now let's take a look at the modifiers that we have for this week. And the first one that we have is Fire Pit. Meaning that every time you kill an acolyte, basically they just drop a grenade on the ground and it burns for a little bit. As long as you're not meleeing a lot of acolytes, you pretty much will be fine and you won't even notice this modifier. Next though, we have Unstoppable Champions. I think there's like 2 Unstoppable Ogres in total. Not a lot of Unstoppable Champions actually. So as long as you have one person with unstoppable rounds, or maybe an unstoppable melee, or maybe both, maybe a guy with unstoppable rounds and another one with unstoppable melee, you should be pretty fine. Now for the next one, we have barrier champions, and you are definitely gonna want a lot of barrier. You pretty much want everyone to have barrier rounds, because there's gonna be a lot of barrier champions. Mostly what you see on the strike are gonna be barrier champions, barrier knights, so you want to take them out as quickly as possible. I was running the Ariana's bow, and that thing just did amazing against the champions. Really good one. After that, we have equipment lock, so you won't be able to change anything in between the Nightfall. And then we have match game, our friend match game. This week, match game is actually not that bad. Mostly because you're going to be running into a lot of arc shields. It's actually mostly arc shields. I think in the entire strike, there's like one solar shield for the wanted enemy, which is a witch. But you for sure want to run some arc, because every single knight that you run into is going to have an arc shield. And then the special modifier that we have this week is Knocker's Refrain, which is going to increase solar damage and environmental damage. So they're just trying to make the boss fight a little bit harder. But even with the modifier, the boss fight actually doesn't feel too bad, as long as you're staying on top of knights. That's basically what you want to do. As soon as the knight spawns, you just want to try to kill them as quickly as possible. And as long as you're doing that, the fight with Knockers shouldn't be too bad. Some arc roaming supers are going to be really good, especially in this final room, used to deal with the knights faster and also deal with all the ads that are going to try to swarm you. But they're mostly throws and acolytes. If they catch you off guard, they'll definitely kill you pretty quickly. So a roaming super is definitely going to be amazing in this final room, especially once you're getting close to killing Knockers. When he actually moves around and starts shooting at you, you definitely want to deal with those knights as quickly as possible. And the last thing that I want to mention, especially for my new players, my new light players that may not have encountered this before, is that this boss fight can be glitched sometimes when you respawn. And what I mean by that is that sometimes he'll spawn you outside the boss room, and out there you won't be able to do anything. So what you want to do if this happens, if you get spawned outside the boss room, is just run back. And after a bit, you're going to see the joining allies timer counting down, and then you're going to be joining your allies. So if that happens to you, if you spawn outside the boss room, just do that and everything should be fixed. Now for the loadouts we were running, this is the one I was running. I was running some arc staff with Raider Floods to extend the arc staff. Ran this throwing knife just because I like it. I actually like it quite a lot in PvE. We had also Ariana's Bow to deal with the one solar shield, and also because of the anti-barrier rounds. And then for my heavy, I had the 21 Delirium. I really like the 21 Delirium. I did pretty well with the arc shields, and you also get a lot. I really do mean a lot of ammo with 21 Delirium. And someone also commented below that I should also show like what my teammates were running, so that's what we're doing now. My first teammate was running a Whale, a Duke with anti-barrier rounds, a Loaded Question for the arc shields, and then the Leviathan's Breath to deal with those unstoppable ogres. Even though there's not a lot of unstoppable ogres, the Leviathan's Breath is actually used pretty nice to deal with some of the big enemies, so it's actually not a bad choice. My second teammate was running top 3 Nova Bomb with the Controverse Holds, a Midnight Coup, because he does not want to let go of the pass. No anti-barrier rounds on the Midnight Coup though. The Divinity for dealing with the arc shields, and then for the heavy, it was the Wendigo, which is actually super, super good, especially when you go up against big groups of enemies, since you can use blind them all and take them out that way. So that's all the things that we were running this week. A lot of arc, so that's mostly what you want. You want anti-barrier and arc. Those are the two things that you're looking for the most. So like I said at the beginning, this knife was actually pretty good for farming exotics or prisms, just because you could run it so quickly. And as long as you're taking out all the champions, you should be able to get to 100k pretty easily. So with that guys, we're gonna end today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, doesn't matter if it's a very simple question or it's a complicated question. Just leave them down in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. Anyways, thank you for watching today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care everyone. Have a good day.